Hi everyone, welcome to MaryAnne's Mystic Mansions. I'm MaryAnne. Welcome to your daily Sun Sign Love Connection readings, and welcome to your featured sun sign for today of beautiful earth element of Virgo. I love you, Virgo. You know, it's really kind of cool. We have the moon, if it's not happening, I think it's happening relatively soon in the earlier part of the afternoon, going from Aries into Taurus. And so that's your fellow earth element. And so I just feel like you have this kind of deeply and actually outwardly, inwardly and outwardly, feeling of just kind of this grounded, calming, natural, feel good kind of energy happening. I hope that's the case for you. A lot of times that's exactly what happens when you have that trine with the same element happening. Certainly in the moon has to do with our feelings and how we react and how we feel in our deepest parts of ourselves, in our souls. So I like that for you right off the bat. You know, you're an earth sign, as I said, and you are an earth element. You, however, out of all the earth signs are immutable. And that's really cool because a lot of times earth signs, they're very grounded. They like things, a certain way. They can be very fixed. One in particular, not all earth signs, one is the fixed sign, which is the Taurus, which is the moon we're in. But it's really about being dedicated and steadfast. So we won't always say stubborn, though that word is used a lot to express the tendencies and characteristics of a Taurus. Stubborn can be, it can be difficult, I suppose, but I'm always lean towards the positive aspects of people because we can always say something wrong. Let's work on the good stuff, right? That's my motto anyway. So I focus mostly on that, and I feel like deeply in my heart, I feel like, especially with the Tauruses I know, they're just very, very, very caring and, true, loyal, deeply devoted to whatever they put their mind or person or intention to. And that's the same with you, Virgo. You are, oh my gosh, you are so incredibly capable and intelligent. Your Mercury is your ruling planet, as it is Gemini. And what's happening right now is we're in Gemini season. Happy birthday, Geminis. I'm sure you know a lot of Geminis, Virgo. This is a good combination in a lot of ways, especially because of what I mentioned. You both have this really astute and academia kind of a mind where you want to just learn and expand and grow and teach and carry this knowledge that you can give to others freely and with the sole purpose, I can't speak, excuse me, Mercury retrograde, with the sole purpose of just helping. You're known as the virgin sign, the purity of heart, just giving without expecting in return, authenticity and unconditional kind of loving and caring. That's what you're about. And I know how that is. I have a lot of Virgo people in my life. I have since I was younger. I have ideas and understandings of why, astrology wise, but I can tell you it's just one of the best feelings because I just can always rely on my Virgo friend, or my chiropractor is a Virgo, and we'll talk because I'm a massage therapist and we're in health fields, and we go and we just pick each other's minds, and she has so much knowledge and I just love learning, and she loves sharing, and this is the way it is, right? And so you're very critical with yourself a lot of times, Virgo. Like, you just want to be the best, and for that reason you want to be available to people. You're organized, you're very good with time and time management and money and all those things, especially when it comes to business. And a lot of you have your own businesses because you're very capable, but you work really hard, and this is a time like this energy, as I'm speaking of. It feels good to just go, oh, wow, okay, it's Sunday. Most people have Sundays off. Not everybody. I mean, I work Sundays, this portion of the day. And, it's just thinking, gosh, I feel like I want to do things that nurture my more natural side, like go in my garden and even plant some more veggies that you may not already have, because I know a lot of beautiful plants and or gardens are like botanical geniuses or something, or my earth sign friends, and they give me a lot of tips. But so yeah, it's a time of that relaxation. Makes sense when we have a Mercury retrograde in well, it's in Gemini, but when it's happening, it's going to affect you probably more than other signs, because like I said, you have the Mercury mind. So your clarity and your ability to focus might be askew during the time, which it generally is for all of us. So don't feel alone. But yeah, just knowing that, it probably makes you want to come to a place of like, okay, most things are out of my control, which also kind of bothers you, but it's true, you know. I mean, there's this stalling that happens with Mercury retrograde. It's a time when, you know, people change their mind, and you got to be really flexible. There's changes in appointments. If you have businesses and you have clients, they'll reschedule and they might reschedule again, and you're just like, okay, cool. You take it in, you take your breaths, because it happens 3 times, sometimes 4 times a year, for about 3-week period, right? So we're in that. Verbiage changes, your vocabulary, the way you speak. You know, you may be misunderstood, and you got to explain yourself a couple times more, and you're just like, I didn't mean that. Being careful of your agendas if you're traveling. You know, watch all aspects, like make sure your car is in good shape, your tires are good, all that. And expect the unexpected there, but nothing to be alarmed about. I'm just saying these are very common possibilities that come up with a Mercury retrograde, because Mercury represents speed. And I mean, this is a time when, even with the retrograde in Gemini season and the 2 eclipses that we're in the middle of, we just had the one on May 26th with Sagittarius, which is fire and movement and, you know, adventure and, you know, higher learning and educating ourselves and yeah, travel, just like getting out, right? We get to get out. That feels so beautiful. And we want to do that. We've got that fast pace, but this Mercury retrograde is just saying, okay, slow your roll a little bit. Because, you know, it's going to be like up and down anyway with Gemini. That's how they are. They're the duality, right? They're like, oh, yeah, I think I want to do this, and I want to do that as well, because I want to do it all, basically. And the energies are like that. It's kind of scattered, and that's not what you are, Virgo. Quite the opposite. But you do feel that energy. So just know that we're all feeling that, and know that the new moon in eclipse is happening on the 10th this coming week. So I think it's Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. But I really, really like this for everybody in so many ways. And it doesn't matter if you have air in your chart, your natal chart, or, you know, all the variables there, which would make a difference. You would feel things differently depending on the degree, and you look that up in your own natal chart, you know, for free. I always talk about it. It's amazing the things you could find out, and it explains so much about a lot, and certainly your relationships. But so yeah, you're feeling the Gemini, you're feeling the retrograde for sure. It'll happen through the 22nd of June, but the new moon in Gemini is just, it's so beautiful for full tilt. Let's make things happen and let's communicate. It's communication personified in Gemini. And in you, like I said, you are about that. You know, it takes the mind to formulate words, to express yourself in just the right ways. And I feel writing is a huge thing happening right now. And I know I just said that. Thank you, Spirit. It's another avenue of, you know, communication and expression and information and teaching and so forth, of course. But also we had Jupiter go into Pisces for a little stint here. It happened from May 13th through July 28th. And Pisces is so creative. Pisces is so much about heart and, you know, vulnerability and expression of, you know, ways to show your feelings. How do you show your feelings? So a lot of times it's through your creativity, through art, through drawing, through writing, through speaking, through dance and yoga and gardening and all those natural things that come into the rhythms of our bodies, you know, because it is a way of expression. So, I mean, there's a gamut of ways to be expressive, and that's what's happening with Jupiter in Pisces. Not to mention a bunch of healing and psychic, you know, very much in tune with your intuition right now. Your ideas are really coming through, maybe through dreams or signs and other people, and you're just kind of picking up on all the synchronicities. It feels beautiful, and it's about love. It's about fun. It's about harmony and you know, going with the flow, which is the whole fish, you know, analogy. It's like, yeah, the fish in 2 different directions. They're duality too, known as the duality, but they're just like, they're up and down. They're just like mutable as well, and it's all kind of just combining itself together in one beautiful, harmonious, what I want to say soup, because of, water and Pisces and everything. Just a lot of different energies that I find very, very positive for, and the readings have been amazing. But imagine and remember the delays are there, and it's time to think about things and just kind of review things, and maybe go on your vacation you've wanted to go on for so long, or certainly plan it, okay? The don'ts are don't buy anything technical if you can help it, because it may come broken, or you may have to reorder it again or something. That's kind of a known thing. But if you have to get it, you get it. And sometimes everything's fine. So just putting out that little, forewarned message. But other than that, let's find out who your highlighted connection is. That's what's really important right now, because I always do the 2 sun signs together. The highlighted connection, though, gets 3 major category messages that come through. And then I, culminate the reading with the beautiful rune oracle. And then I go on to read the last 2 oracles that are for every single Virgo and every one of your connections, so that everybody gets a message with my readings. And I hope you resonate, but give it time, because especially with the retrograde, it's hard to say, but new energies coming through with that new moon. So just think positive, and I'll be lighting my new moon intentions on that day candle. And you write down those intentions and you feel them, and it's just going to be a magical, magical time. So let's see who you have for your highlighted. Beautiful Virgo. Oh, and okay, you've got Aquarius. Boo, boo. So Aquarius has been a very predominant energy this year. We had Jupiter in Aquarius and Saturn in Aquarius, and then Saturn retrograded, and Jupiter will retrograde. It's in Pisces. It was stationed forward in Pisces. It'll retrograde in Pisces on the latter part of the month. I want to say the 24th or 26th or something. And then it'll go back into Aquarius till the end of December. And then next year will be basically Pisces, with Jupiter in Pisces. But that Aquarius energy is beautifully for you too, Virgo. It's, once again, communication, and it's just energy. So that's what you're feeling and have been. And you might be really working closely with an energy of an Aquarius, or you actually are working with an Aquarius. Certainly the air element comes to mind. And it's about big picture. Yeah, that's the whole thing with Sagittarius full lunar eclipse that happened. I mean, this is looking ahead, and not just, although you're into the details, you're looking more at the bigger, broader picture now, Virgo, too, of your life, of your circumstances, maybe, the 2 to 5 year plan. I don't know, but it makes sense to me, because you do, you're very organized, and you do think ahead that way. So I think that's a big part of what's happening with the changes that are coming through. They're actually very positive for most of us, and they won't be without some challenge, and challenge is what motivates us forward, right? And you're not afraid of a challenge anyway, Virgo. You almost welcome them just to find out how to get through them, and that's a beautiful attitude, something I like being around. So there you have the Aquarius, which is ruled by Uranus, and that's unpredictability, boy. That's freedom and non-constriction, right? And that's all about, what do I want to do that's going to help society as a whole, like the whole world. That's the whole outlook with Aquarius. It's not individual, it's more masses. They love to lead groups and organizations and nonprofits and those kind of things. They have great aspirations and huge, grandiose ideas and plans for how to better this world in a fair and just way for everybody. And so I feel like you have that connection. I've known many combinations throughout the 30 plus years of doing readings and astrology compatibility studies that are the Aquarius and Virgo. They just work so well together. You're the air and the mind, and they're the mind, but they kind of ground you and keep you, in a more set way, which is also what Saturn has done, being in your sign, Aquarius. So, though that is retrograde, it doesn't mean it's gone away. It's more of an introspection now. You're really focusing in on your inner deepest feelings. It's not all about the exterior when it goes into retrograde. So I've said a lot, but I would like to read your messages. And also I will say that you are a fixed sign, Aquarius. So what you want, you generally achieve. And I think that if you want this relationship with the Virgo to be in a great place that's lasting and long-term, whether it be just a friendship, family member, You know, you're going to work through the differences. You're going to have that communication. You're going to have that talk you haven't had because of being away from people you haven't seen forever. And things are probably lost in the process, but they can be brought back. This is reuniting time. And, you know, getting together and socializing and having fun. That's the Gemini season, boy. I feel it. I really do. I've been doing that. I've enjoyed it. It's been really wonderful. So let's see what it says. First category is always the overall energy. And I do want to say very quickly, because I wanted to say this at the beginning, I'm still uploading yesterday's. It hasn't uploaded yet. That's Mercury retrograde in its fullest beautiful form. But I'm not, you know, it'll get there eventually. Please, Leos, it was you. And it was the highlighted connection of Scorpio, which came twice in a row, 2 days in a row. But, you know, there's a lot of influence with water, with Jupiter and Pisces. So I understand that happening. I'll do 2 of the same highlights in a row, but I won't do a third because I want to be as fair as I can. And Spirit understands. And we just pick another one. So your overall energy for right now, the first half of June, beautiful Virgo, is the King of Cups. There's the water. I love the King of Cups. You know, the King of Cups is the mature, and it's the very, very satisfied emotional card. And it does represent the masculine in all of us. But when it's the King of Cups, it's definitely about wanting to help and provide and serve and just, you know, just caring, emotionally fulfilling energy is what it is. And it is the sign of Cancer, which we're approaching Cancer season and summer, a new beautiful season, right? We're already into summer almost, and that's so representative of this particular energy and this king, and just feeling on top of the emotions, feeling this stability of emotions, even in a retrograde. That's one of the very important, you know, elements and energies happening in the pattern of the universe right now, but it's definitely not the only one. And Jupiter outrhymes that because Pisces is of either sex, and that's a really beautiful thing for Cancers right now. Whether you have a moon, sun, rising, certainly Venus, yeah, things are coming along very beautifully for the two of you. And you're feeling more in your heart. You're feeling more emotionally involved, you know. There's a commitment maybe that you're approaching, you know, with that Virgo. You're about long term. You're not fly by night by any means. And maybe you're going to ground this Aquarius in some way. If you don't know an Aquarius yet, it could be the energies you're feeling, but you could also meet one. Retrogrades always bring people back that you may have forgotten about, or certainly new people. You just never know. I mean, life is full of beautiful surprises and wonderful serendipitous occasions. So I love seeing that right off the bat. That's beautiful. There's intentions of love being brought forth, and like I said, all different forms of love. But that makes my heart feel soft and warm and fuzzy because, yeah, I can see that. Now, behind is, well, I thought it was full moon. It's a planet, but it looks... I wish I could tell you what it is. Is it Jupiter? I need to learn more because I've been doing these readings for so long. This is a beautiful deck I'm using, the Gilded Tarot by Sarah Machete. And of course, for years, I did the Rider-Waite-Smith deck I have for like 35 years now. But I've never seen that depiction in there. So as you can see, you're being guided, of course, and there's beautiful karmically influenced kind of energies that are coming through with this Jupiterian, as I said. It's really, it's a very beautiful, beautiful energy, and it's benevolent, and it's a healing energy. So good stuff, good stuff. Thank you, Spirit, for bringing that out and the messages that are coming through. The second category is always the possible blessings or obstacles. And you have the Six of Pentacles. This is absolutely beautiful. They're your energy, Virgo, because you're a pentacle or a coin when it's an earth element. And what is it about? It's about the practical things, the material things that we can, you know, manifest by physical work, by mental work, by meditating and imagining and manifesting such, right? Especially on new moons and certainly full moons. Full moons culminate, but they bring in new because they've ended something else. And that Sagittarius eclipse is going to affect us for months to come. So the 6 I love a lot though. 6 is about balance. The number represents balance, everyday life, work, relationships with work and personal and family and children and all the above. And are you putting out and helping others? It looks like there's a give and take. There's a balancing of this when it's 6. And if you're not giving out help and, certainly support and, information, like I said earlier, your wisdom, it's being brought to you now, oh yes, that's right, you, and please accept it with a smile and say thank you because you deserve it, okay? And a lot of times I know you're just, oh, no, I'm good. I just take it in, okay? People want to give to you too, Virgo. And I love seeing those. In other words, it's a reciprocity, which is so important in life. It's important in the currency to keep it going and have that beautiful manifestation happening. And it's super important in all of our relationships. I don't think you take tabs, if you will, about, well, I've done this, that, and the other for this person, and what have I gotten? But as a human being, I think after a certain amount of time, if it isn't somewhat balanced, you're gonna feel it, you just do. But this is showing not. It's showing that you do have that balance, and it's coming in the way it needs to, and you don't have to ask. There's love involved. There's just the good feeling, and there's the calm that's there right now. Even in a retrograde, you're accepting it. You're letting yourself relax and retreat from, the hustle and bustle of worrying about that. And, oh, I love this for you. I really do. So I would consider that a blessing. I really would. And what's interesting is the final category is finances. So there's the money right there. Very possibly money. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but it is about the tangible things. And okay. So the final category of finances is the 5 of Wands. Well, you're pretty fired up. You've had that Sagittarius full moon, and it's really setting you in a position, in an area where you're just like, okay, I know what I want. I know my dreams. I know how I want to better further my life, my education, my desires. And it's not going to come necessarily easily. I will have to fight for what I want. This doesn't always mean fight. It means challenge. It means maybe, just having to really stand up for what you're feeling and everything, putting forth the effort always. Are you afraid of that? Do you not do that, Virgo? You do it all the time. This is second nature. You're another sign, but the fire is there, You may very well have fire in your chart and you're feeling it, We are approaching, Aries was just, the moon was just in Aries. So it might be a final feeling of that. But I still attribute it to the Sagittarius energy, and it's just saying, don't stop now, boy. Forever hold your peace, because when you really want something and you want it to be grounded and you want it to be a permanent thing and you want it to feel stable and secure in your finances, you do have to make the effort in some way or another. You have to bring that energy about. And this is what it's showing. Okay, so yeah, of course you're not always going to completely agree with everyone that you love and care about, and so the conversations will come up. I almost feel like with the Aquarius energy, and this highlighted, that there's the debates for the sake of debate. Like, you don't want to agree. I would prefer to disagree with you. I agree to disagree. And that's kind of fun too, in a way, because that's what keeps things kind of spicy, You don't want them too mundane. You have to have that tension in there in a pleasantly, healthy way. So that's what I feel there too. But I feel like you're not stopping anytime soon. You are being offered some financial guidance, if nothing else, information once again. Healing of finances is coming through with Jupiterian energy, which is very good for you. I forgot to mention, as a Virgo, Pisces is your polar opposite. So there's always this kind of feeling and magnetism to it. You're very different and very much drawn to each other, to fill each other's, parts that the other doesn't have, in a beautiful, harmonious way, a natural way. And I've seen that as well many times work out beautifully. So good stuff. And standing your ground, which is, I've never known a Virgo who hasn't. I'm not exaggerating. and I love you for that. So I like the reading. Let us culminate it with the rune, as I mentioned, and see what that has to bring to the table, literally, because it's pretty phenomenal. It's so right on as far as the time frame and the major words that are associated with this particular rune. So I'm still learning it. I have my little cheat sheet. I love the Oracle of the Rune, though. It is very, very, very wisdom-filled and knowledgeable, to where it brings this insight into your energy, and you're like, whoa. It's like a download. It's like, you do know we all are in this together. It's just those reminders, you know, but we're all a part of it, and we always have been. And you have the one that I feel like I pulled only yesterday, maybe the day before, but I love it anyway. So I'll read to you what it says. Oh, I know what this is. Okay. You know what? I'm going to do a second one because I feel like I didn't shake it up enough. I just felt that spirit told me to do that, and I didn't shake it up enough. So let's make sure we have the variety here. If it comes out again, then we really know, right? Okay, now you got what it looks like to me, and I'll let you know for sure. I'm never sure if I'm holding it up the right way. It looks like the letter B, and this does represent a letter, and I put it right on the second category, the possible blessings or obstacles, just to confirm that it is in fact a blessing, right? So what that is the rune that is known as Berkana, and is number 18. And 1 + 8 in numerology equals 9, which is about completion. And it looks as though the completion with the full moon is actually, closure has happened. Eclipses will take things out. You may very well know what I'm speaking of, and it's taken a while, but you've been planning this. I don't see it as anything but an absolute necessary change and transformation that's going to add great elements of happiness and prosperous energy to you. And we'll go further to see. So 18. Well, the word associated with it is birch. And the time period is between March 15th and March 29th. So we're talking, yeah, that would be between Pisces. There you go again, Pisces. Woo, very strong. Well, like I said, it's very much connected to you, though, Virgo, as the polar opposite in the astrology wheel. So, yeah, but then it also goes into Aries. So yeah, fiery too. There's that fire part that's very much there and continues to be. So we have the words honor, power, drive, target reached, victory, clarity, which is so beautiful, after the retrograde for sure. Let's see, what did I say? Victory, clarity, intrigue thwarted, which I love reading anytime I've read these, because intrigue is that extra noise and gossip and, you know, unsolicited and also not necessarily accurate information that you really don't want to be a part of. It's not your deal, okay? And you thwart that for sure. And then I'm so sorry. I've been doing this quite a bit, and I'm just going to say, forgive me, and I'll read the other words. It is the right time frame, but the words associated are not what I saw before. It's between March 29th, or March 15th and March 29th. That was accurate. It is Berkana, but the word responses are feminine, fertility, project, growth, joy, pleasures, nutrition, pregnancy, and children. Okay. So, I mean, this love overall energy that has come up very predominantly clearly indicates intimacy, sexuality, and a very good possibility of creating yet another avenue and depth and level of your relationship by a family member, a pet, a new beautiful a new beautiful life of some sort. I mean, life is life, but I'm thinking even a project too, so I don't want to eliminate that. But that is gorgeous and very, very interesting with, you know, the newness that's coming in. I mean, this is when it happens, the new eclipse coming in and maybe just surprising the heck out of you. If you've been waiting or you've been, you know, trying channels like IVF or something, just, it could be incredible news. And I'm getting goosebumps talking about it. So there's a selective few of you this is very much a part of. And I'm so extremely happy for you, because if you are having a child or you already are expecting and you're about to have it, it's life-changing. But it is the most beautiful thing that you could ever imagine. So congratulations on that. It looks as though in the, you know, possible blessings or obstacles, there'll be money enough to make it happen. It'll come in, and then you will then turn around and you know, use it on this beautiful new addition to your family, whatever that is. And I love it. So fantastic. I will go on to read your oracle messages now for every single Virgo and every one of your beautiful connections, Virgo. And this is the beautiful Psychic Tarot for the Heart deck. And of course, I felt it was very important with the predominant energy of Jupiter in Pisces and love and nurturing and caring and selflessness that comes through with Pisces. In addition to the incredible, you know, ability to create and to absorb and to feel the way that they feel. Their sensitivity is quite noteworthy. So your beautiful message is listen. Woo! I've been picking up new ones now. Maybe I got this one time like 4 or 5 months ago, but it's still a pretty new deck. And it's a major arcana because it's outlined in black. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous card. It's number 2, and it's about, you know, partnership. It's about creation, you know, working together, connection once again. And in doing so, you know, you have this give and take situation. You know, you have these conversations where you're back and forth, but when you listen, it's so important. It's a big part of having a conversation. Otherwise, are you really having a conversation? Is it just one-sided? I mean, something to think about. What a beautiful jewel this person is wearing. It's just, listen, this is a good time to listen. This is when you can do that retreating that I was talking about during the retrograde and just shutting everything else out, which makes it easier to listen. Most things, you know which things to shut out. So let me read to you what it says specifically, though. And once again, that's the major arcana, and it is number 2, and it is listen. So it says, take a moment to quiet your mental chatter with your mercurial mind, Virgo, and listen in relationships. It's important to pay attention to what the other person is really saying. Too often in conversations, you're already planning what you're going to say while the other person is still talking. I've done that. You make assumption about where the conversation is going and plan your part of the conversation accordingly, even working the conversation to a desired outcome. When this happens, you truly don't hear what the other person said, and in doing so, you weren't present for that person. So that's fair, right? And I mean, I know that you listen. I know this, and I'm sure that's not the message here, but as a reminder, you know, just like maybe being even more in tune to that and just thinking, okay, I'm going to give that a try. I mean, even more than I may already do. And just kind of feel that out and see how that works, because it just might open up something really important to you in doing so. You know, I would hope that's the message this is meant to be for you. If you have not subscribed, I really appreciate that you would do that and you would push that like button and share, or anything that like your heart actually feels like doing. If I don't say it, sometimes it won't happen. And I know when I watch my favorite readers and tarot, you know, spiritual leaders from many years, I get really involved and I'm loving every moment of it. And then I think later, wait a minute, I didn't acknowledge that. It's so important. It's so nice. It's such a beautiful small gesture that means a big amount. So I like to bring that up. And so in closing, I'm going to read your super attractor manifestation message, which is also what I like to call a mantra or affirmation. You can say it over and over and over again and watch and feel. I say watch because you feel the energy, and then when you feel the energy and it comes from within and it goes outward, then things around you, you can see change. I mean, it actually really happens, and it's beautiful and exciting and fun, and we all do that, and let's do it more for the right reasons, right? Okay, so you have my true safety lies in my capacity to align with the love of the universe. That's what it's about. You know, love is everything, and it's so incredibly powerful, and it's so very healing when used in a beautiful, you know, upward, energetic way. And that's all I'll say about that. But this is for you, and it's red, and it's full of fire and passion and love, and I see that very clearly in the reading. And I'm happy for you, and I hope it continues to go that way for you. Come back for the mid-month reading, see if things are on the same wavelength, or, you know, things are starting to go past an upward trajectory, which will happen with that new moon. And yeah, thank you very much. Take good care of yourself until then. Bye for now.